La Traviata is rather like a chamber music opera set in Paris in the salons. These salons were in people's houses, which were full of fantastic political conversation and music and dancing, and a lot of political happenings were sorted out in these salons. So I think Verdi's building up this atmosphere of that world. Verdi writes beautiful melodies, and this opera especially has got so many memorable tunes, and they often reflect the drama of the situation. The accompaniment can be sometimes rather simple, often with dance elements. And I'll show you a bit where Violetta is asking Gemon, who's Alfredo's father, to say to his daughter the sacrifice that she's going to make by leaving Alfredo. To write a melody like that is extremely difficult, and many composers could never have achieved that length of melody. And at that point, Gemon, who is very, of course, moved by this whole way of asking him to do something which is really important for her, answers in a fantastically expressive way. As is typical in Verdi, the Prelude tells us a lot about what's going to happen. It starts with very high violins, which expresses her illness, her consumption. And it's beautiful music, but it still shows the illness that she's suffering from. So you hear this music again at the beginning of Act 3 when she is really unwell, and Alfredo has left her and she's desperate and in love with him still. So this was a period of Chopin. Chopin wrote beautiful piano music. He didn't write any operas, but you can hear that same style of beautiful melody and a simple accompaniment. Going back to the Prelude, we hear now, after this consumption motive, we hear a beautiful melody which is associated at the end of the second act when she is leaving Alfredo, but she desperately has one last moment when she says, "Love me, Alfredo." It has a big build-up to this moment because it's such an emotional outpouring. You'll hear then this theme come out in such a strong way. We also have the conflict for Violetta between her courtesan life, which was a very rich life. I mean, you made lots of money from these gentlemen who wanted to set you up in an apartment, and lots of parties, and her life that she is drawn to with Alfredo, which is, of course, with no money and living in a very difficult way, but in love. So you hear the two themes together. You hear in the violins on top, showing the courtesan life, very exciting, and at the same time the real depth of feeling underneath. So that shows you how you can put two melodies together and show the conflict of the drama. We have a theme, for instance, when Violetta has to write an emotional letter to Alfredo to say that she has to leave him. And it's just a solo clarinet over, again, a very simple accompaniment and a bit like Chopin, but it's so moving in the theatre. even the dance music, which there's a certain amount of because of the Paris atmosphere, is full of fantastic melodies. For instance, the Matador music, which happens at Flora's party, sung by the men as a kind of cabaret act, has a great melody to it. So to sum up, Traviata is one of the greatest operas that Verdi probably wrote in his middle period. And the way he expresses everything of the drama through this melody is something very special. Sounds very simple and easy to listen to, but is incredibly difficult to achieve. And we have to admire someone who can actually do that in such an eloquent way.